Hello and welcome to day 23 of my 30 days Just Ship It challenge. And yeah, it's getting close. It's getting closer to the end and to actually the need of having a final product, having something shippable. And I told you yesterday that today I'm actually going through some of my Trello boards, some of my initial plan, and we will see how far we actually came in the last 23 days and what's still missing, and so that we can also prioritize what's really important here. So what we have to do to call this 30-day Ship It challenge really a success. So let me open my Trello board in one of my 130,000 tabs. Let me see. Trello. Okay, and obviously I let you have a look and see what I'm doing here as well. So this is my Trello. I have a lot of Trellos, but this is the code review analytics tool, right? And so we had like the implementation of the MVP, and let's have a look what we talked about first, right? And I had like 3 dimensions here. Like I had time metric, I had like participation metric and the size metric. And I told you I was working yesterday on the time metric, and it's pretty there. There are some, minor things, but actually I think like there's this 80-20 rule, 80% of the work, right? Or 20% of the work gives you already 80% of the impact. And so I think I did the 80%, and we really have to see if it's even necessary to do the other 20% in this stage of the product, right? Or if we should spend our energy somewhere else. And I really think we should spend it somewhere else. So the time metric is almost there. I think I can, you see, I clicked it already. The participation metric is there, even though I played around a little bit with another layer, but for the MVP, I think it's there. And then the size metric is still an open issue, but it's very, very similar to the time metric. So this should be like a sailing boat. Is that how you say it in English? Probably. Visualization of the metrics is also done. So all of the metrics are now somehow visualized, and there is the investigation of Matplotlib and others. Well, if you followed my journey, you know that I'm now using these 3 to really do it. Something is happening with my light. Let me quickly, sorry. I have to do that now. Get my light here a little bit less flickery. Or maybe it's not happening. It's flickering. I have to investigate it later. Anyway, it looks actually quite good, right? So this is what's happening here in my MVP stage. I still have to find my WhatsApp. Write something quick and then close it so that it's not distracting us anymore. So implementation of the MVP. So I actually think that there is only the size metric that is still an open issue, and then I think I can wrap it up. I will still do a little bit more than I actually planned to do, just because I have the early adopter that's interested in the tool, and that gave me some ideas for features. And so while I have this relationship going, I think it's the best investment for me to really implement more. Even though I'm deviating a little bit from having this very, very small implementation. Sorry, I have something now. Something here. So actually looks good, right? So we should be able to do that quite quickly. So this was the implementation. Then testing the MVP. I told you there was the day that I was implementing all the tests for everything that I already worked on, and then I was actually testing I was working quite test driven. This changed a little bit in the last days again. I'm implementing more than I'm testing, which is a little bit it's a little bit a pain. But the implementation changes so much, right? I'm really prototyping right now that I felt a little bit slowed down by having to, fix all my tests again. It's more like the architecture of my tool evolves, right? So I didn't know exactly what I was working on. And actually yesterday I talked with a potential client, and they were quite impressed with this 1 month timeline for the tool and things like that. And if we reflect on it, I think it's very good, but it's just me implementing the tool, right? And I also have like to suffer all the consequences from having this really fast MVP here. If you're doing it more carefully, and if you're writing some documentation, or making some specification and thinking a little bit more, making an architecture of how your tool will look like, probably that's almost not possible, right, to come to a stage that I am right now. But this also means that I now have to suffer a little bit from the technical debt that I actually took, or I knew that I'm getting myself into, just because I want to iterate really quickly. And actually a lot of the implementation that I did, I think I will just throw away. So parts of that I already threw away. But there are also other parts that I probably will cut out if the features are not important. The most important thing for me is to get rid of them, right? I don't want to maintain code that's not interesting. But because of that, because I didn't really know exactly what how the tool is going to look, and I was quite in the prototyping stage, the tool is now changing a lot, and so I slowed the test slowed me a little bit down, which I have to change. So there's probably more testing that I have to do in the couple of next days even, right? So at least a couple of things that will have to do here. I mean, it's quite well tested, but there are a few things that I just have to make some test a little bit better, let's put it that way. So I will let that here, and then the goal is a runnable, not crashing application. Well, we're still on that goal, right? So my application right now is runnable and not crashing, and even produces something. Well, there's a landing page that I wanted to build, creating a sign-up list. And this was like, there's like, there's like, the goal is to have a landing page and a sign-up list. And actually I got an email from LinkedIn, and they want to give me $50. I call it bucks. Well, it's not bucks, it's bucks. It's like English money. I don't know if you, for making some ads. I never ever made ads in my life. But it's something that I think is very powerful if you can do it. I don't know if you know it. So I thought maybe I'm playing around with this tool a little bit. So that's why I put it here. But this is like really optional and something to just play around for me a little bit. Like maybe I'm gonna create a LinkedIn ad just because I'm getting this money to try it out. Well, there were some feature requests, right? Filtering out some PRs. I have worked on that. Breaking down PR based on PR levels, annotating the analytics, and so on. I think this is really a future thing, right? So this is not part, I wrote it in this, let's call it version 2 or something. Probably it's not even version 2, we don't know exactly, right? But I put it here because I want to have a place, but this is really out of the scope of this challenge here right now. Goal, work with one early adopter, right? So we are doing that. Understand their needs and requirements. Actually, I have a meeting, I told you about this. I have a meeting on Tuesday, so this will be interesting, and so I will be part of the leadership meeting, and they will look at the output of my tool and they will discuss it, and so I can really observe their reactions and their questions that the data is triggering. And so this will be super insightful, and I'm very, very happy and grateful that this is possible to do. And so here you see already it's phase 2, right? So ideation phase and user research, and then some sales, right? Learn about sales. I still have that on my list. And there's a lot of things that I have already done. So so we have like 7 days, right? Let's have a look at our calendar. So we have 7 days. Well, there's the weekend. I also have to release a podcast for Tuesday, so there will be some time going away for that. But then like I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's really one work week sort of left. And so I anticipate that I will need one day, maybe a weekend if I'm doing the podcasting as well. So let's say the weekend plus the podcast I will need for doing the size implementation part, right? The size perspective of the tool. So that will be something. And let me quickly check if actually my stream even works. I'm not completely sure. Something wasn't really working here. But it looks like, yes, it looks like that it's working. So that's okay. It's working. So, now I lost a little bit my thought. Oh, it works. Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure. Somehow it looked a little bit strange when I started it. And so normally there is this pop-up and then you say, okay, I'm using Streamlabs, and then it goes away. But now the pop-up somehow stayed, and I was like, this is a little bit weird. I'm not sure if it works. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, let me think. So I was actually in the middle of thinking about what I have to do. So I think the time perspective will be done here, and then it's really about building this landing page and creating the sign up list and doing that. And actually I thought like maybe I should I don't know, I should have some graphics also that explain, how the tool works. And I had this blog post, right? So we should have the blog post here. I put it under marketing. I think it's not completely marketing, but finish writing the blog post. I don't know if you've been part of this session when I wrote most of the parts of the blog post, right? So this is also something that we have to do. I mean, we don't vlog. No, it's not a vlog. Unfortunately, it's a blog. So blog post. So we should really be careful not to put too much into this last week, right? And to really also have some time to spend making the things better, some of those, right? So yeah, this is the time perspective. And then you have like Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday to really spend on making the landing page, creating the sign up. For me, the email, the most difficult thing is like this analysis paralysis that I told you about, my mailing problems. So I have to not only find a good provider for my email list, but also for my email. And yeah, so I'm still a little bit hesitant here how to do it and where to take it. But yeah, anyway, so I would say I would like to have all of those things, like the landing page, the sign up, the finished blog post, right? The testing of the MVP and the size perspective done by Thursday. And then we have like 2 more days. First of all, a little bit of Slack time, and third, we can really reflect on this challenge and make maybe a plan for the next month and what we are doing with the tool, and how I will make it even more from a tool to a business. Let's put it that way, right? So yeah, this is what I have planned. Thank you so much for joining today again. And see you probably tomorrow, 9 p.m. And have a good day. And I hope it was useful as well for you. So, okay, bye-bye.